It's Friday. Well, where am I? Well, I'll tell you where I'm not. And where I'm not is at Mirabel at iCar at the racetrack in the driver's meeting. Why? As seems to be typical with LZ World Tours, a lot has gone sideways in my life on the prep day. So yesterday I was flying back to Montreal to then go meet the trailer at the border and bring it to Mirabel. Unfortunately, on my layover in Chicago, I got a message that was like, bad news. The bad news was that Edwin, who had agreed to tow my trailer from Atlanta to Montreal, had basically broken his transmission in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. Thus ensued a search through people that I knew in New York, Pennsylvania, Montreal, anyone who could either tow the trailer to the border, drive from Montreal to Pennsylvania to pick it up. Anyway, I found someone. Unfortunately, that person got in their truck and it immediately went into limp mode. So we did find a second person, and now I'm headed to meet that person. I'm currently in the duty-free waiting for Sam, who has been driving since yesterday at 10 p.m. Honestly, can't believe it even came together. I mean, I made so many phone calls to so many people in so many states, and I had so many people reach out to me, which is just a testament to what this community is. You know, what motorsport is and what drifting is in particular, that when I posted, so many people reached out to me with solutions or ideas anyway. So now I'm gun shy. Like, I don't want to celebrate early, so I'm just gonna say that hopefully things are looking up. Things are looking positive. That's kind of all I can say at this point. My crew for this weekend is something totally different. Number one, Dylan, who is the guy that suggested that I put an LS in my 350Z in the first place. So the guy that ruined my life. He is a grip racer. He has a really cool shop that does like LS swaps in Porsches and stuff like that. He also installed my very first FDF angle kit. It's his first time actually coming to a drift event, so that's going to be awesome. I have a girl named Sierra who reached out to me about crewing for me, a friend of Dylan's. I have my ex-girlfriend, Val, who's coming with her friend Val and her partner. I have some stunt people coming. It's going to be no drifters, really, except for Sierra, but a lot of people, and I'm just excited to drive this car, and hopefully everything goes well. All right, so this is fun. There was a bolt missing when I was testing after Atlanta, and that bolt was holding the traction arm on, and I had to like loosen everything and pry it, and now I have like an inch of toe in, which I didn't have when I was testing. So we're gonna figure out where that is and hopefully solve that in like a super efficient way. Here we go! I'm just excited to drive this car and hopefully everything goes well. That's what happens when you switch from a 100 treadwear pro tire to a 300 treadwear tire that is a little bit less sticky. And then you throw it a little too hard into the wall, and then you try to fix it with the gas, but the car just floats. I've got like people under the car everywhere. I'm pulling data. This engine hoist just like appeared out of nowhere because this guy Steven, who I just met, was like, I have a shop there. Do you want one of those? Four guys just lifted it like with that truck over the thing. It's scared. Motorsport just makes things happen. It's really cool. And now I'm gonna pull the data in case my engine's not okay. Okay, well, we got the car back on track. We got 2 laps in. It feels incredibly loose out there. I am doing what I can. I'm also, going to be honest, a little shy about the first zone because of what happened the last time. So I realize I'm kind of missing it entirely, and I'm going to try not to do that on my qualifying.
So now, we're on to the line. We have got Zendara Kennedy in the S14 to JZ. She had a big hit with the wall in practice earlier on. The team were scrambling to try and get this car back in the correct condition. We don't know the condition, and but a lot of laps lost. So not a lot of practice for Zendara as she now tries to figure out as she goes where the track is. Doing a pretty good job of that too. And I'll be honest, with very little practice and with that car getting a big hit early on, that's pretty brave to go out there and be that aggressive on circuit. S14 with the 2J. However, big hit with the wall of practice, limited practice laps. He's got to get it all done here.
Deeper there on that initiation. It gets the car in a really nice line there through that outside zone. She's able to get the car through. I like the way she's diving that car in through that section and able to slingshot it back out. Much, much better run here from Zendara Kennedy. With his fellow Canadian out on Rich in the West Coast. Could have been a bit deeper through that last section, but hey, you know what? Once again, fighting some ground level.
Okay, so I finished qualifying. I'm not super happy with my driving. I mean, I know that I had a limited number of runs, and I actually have no idea how straight the car is right now, but I feel like, honestly, hitting the wall like that didn't leave me in the best headspace and made me kind of not as committed as I want to be driving. You know, I really, like, I started off the day in 4th and I did both my qualifying runs in 3rd. So, of course, the car wasn't making as much smoke. That's like a ton less wheel speed. And it probably is totally drivable. I just didn't have it in me to nut up, which sucks. Because from a driver development standpoint, like, I have limited hours in this car. I have limited hours on this engine, right? Like, every lap is worth so much that I just wish I was performing better and more confident in the car. And to be honest, like, I'm so exhausted from everything that's happened that I'm just not even thinking about what I can do to change the car. You know, like, I soften the coilovers a little bit to, like, hopefully give me a little bit more rear grip. But honestly, the way that I was driving felt like, I mean, look, my second lap felt better than my first. I think it was, like, better in the zones, but is it the way that I know this car can be driven? Not really. You know, so I guess I'm here to change that. You know, I really want to put on a good show, especially at this track, since it's like the first place I ever drove. It's not a day where I'm like, fuck yeah, I did such a good job. So, which sucks because I have people who like busted their asses to get the car back together, but we're just gonna keep pushing through it. Either way, I will battle. The question is if it's tonight or tomorrow, and I would guess tonight, based on qualifying. Not that I've seen anyone else, but also on me the fact that I didn't really, like, I couldn't attend the driver's meeting, and I'm not really sure how they're counting the zones. I was so busy with everything else that I didn't ask, like, is that zone where you should be in front of or in, which is actually a pretty valid question. Like, obviously for a rear zone it makes sense, but those front inner clips are like paint marked with lines, and I actually have no idea if that's bumper in front of that or inside of that. A few laps I was like really over top of that, mostly because I was like fixating on inner stuff and not looking outwards, which again is like it happens to me when I'm stressed out or like overwhelmed. I just tunnel vision into like inner clips, and that happened to me in Atlanta. Like, it's a consistent problem that I have to deal with, and usually I have to like zone out and go, okay, just like, here's the things on the outside that you need to look at to make sure that you're close to. But when like lizard brain takes over and goes, we don't want to go near a wall, we do not look at the wall, and it's really hard to get there if you don't look at it. Anyway, I'm just gonna make the most of it, and you know, I'm excited to kind of stay up here hopefully and train a little bit more in this car and dial this car back in. But yeah, it's not my proudest moment driving wise, for sure.
Yeah, knowing where you sit, especially when it comes to running and pace from the start line. So this is where you're going to learn. But then you can learn pretty quickly and lose 2 in the top 16. So it can go either way. Sean Booth in the breezy S15 going up against Zendara Kennedy in the Boss fronted S14. 2 very cool looking cars. The sun looking beautiful here in iCar. The crowd is hyped and ready to see how this one goes. If you're here in attendance, let me hear you. Montreal, are you ready? Here we go. Sean Booth in the lead, Zendara Kennedy in the chase.
Sean Booth with a sweet initiation. They're getting right to angle. Putting a bit of a gap there, and Zendara Kennedy is pushing out a bit wide. They have to scrub some angle here to get back in the fight. Well, Sean Booth able to keep things looking real comfortable. He sits so far back in the seat, I'm not even sure if he's actually driving right now. Well, Zendara Kennedy doing what she can to get back in the battle there. Now, Zendara does have quite a quick car, so it'll be interesting when they move this around. Sean Booth was really quick on that one.
Yeah, confidence, I think, in Sean. You know, Zendara having that hit with the wall in practice, obviously don't want to be overcommitting, but Zendara enters in the middle of the track, which should give her the jump, but the car washes. You can see it washes out, gets a little bit of understeer. So Sean Booth's up and gone at that point. He's saying, hey, I'm just going to float through the track, do my thing. And all the way through the track, she's cutting and washing. Watch every corner, she washes further than the lead car, which actually slows her pace, and then ends up with it playing a game of catch-up. So no point in the run if you're a judge, you're looking at Zendara saying, well, you're diving through the track to get proximity and you're not getting it when you get there. So it's going to be kind of a double negative. So Sean Booth now, well, he's a chase expert, right? So this is what he does. I've never ever said Sean Booth is the best lead driver in the world, but I would consider him one of the best chase drivers in the world. And this is where he's got to show that.
Yeah, he's got to know that Zendara might still be fighting a couple mechanicals. That being said, he's not one to be hesitant. So caution to the wind here. Zendara Kennedy out front. Sean Booth, here's that chase drive that we talked about, matching the line quite well, knowing that Zendara does not have an advantage right now, playing it a little bit safe. Starts to cut a bit of line here to get back in, and this is what I talked about Zendara. Got a very quick car when she puts the power to the ground. To come through these zones just a bit shallow to that last section. Could be a bit tight there. Just going to take a look here at our replay. What are your thoughts on this run, Dave?
Well, I think, you can't have a good chase run without a good lead run, and the lead run just washes. You see some of the zones are missed a little bit. Now, Sean isn't given an opportunity at every moment here to get that perfect, Zendara, the reason you have those outer zones and those wide outer zones is to get out there to let the chase car cut a little track. You're kind of missing those. You're coming through the track at a lot of pace. Zendara did a good job, but not perfect.
And Sean Booth gets the win. Sean Booth gets the win, goes through to the top 8.
So, I'm not geared for this, and he's fucking fast. But I noticed, I was like, oh, my car's shooting fire. And then I was like, ooh, I really hope it's shooting fire from the wastegate and not from the fact that my catch can tends to spray oil all over that region. So then I had this moment of like, ooh, is fire bad or fire good? I'm not sure. Well, he killed it. I couldn't catch him, honestly. But, I mean, I felt like I drove better than I have today, so at least there's that. But the car, it feels so loose. Like, I really want to get into, like, dialing in more grip into this car. And because right now I was, like, floating all over the place instead of, like, being able to grip up and catch him. And I know that, like, I've driven these Acceleras, like, I did a whole season on them. And it's a really tough balance now with more power because they were kind of grippy enough, but now at this point, like, I can spin the wheels so much with the turbo and the nitrous that it's like, actually, I'm struggling to maintain grip going through the gears. So yeah, definitely some thoughts on setup changes for next time, but hey, the car handles better than it did, I guess. So close. Is this as close as I think it is?
No, it's wide.
Very intimate, just so you know. We call this wide but tight. I don't like it.
She's wide but tight.
I got another one for you after. Okay, so I made it here. Everything continued to go exactly on brand, but I'm like having shown up here without a plan and then calling like Marc-Andre super last minute, just kind of incidentally to be like, do you know anyone who can help me move my trailer? And then he showed up and helped me for the whole weekend. Having Dylan here on Saturday, having Sierra here, like, it kind of always works out. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't do it this way. I also didn't know what I was going to do with the car or the trailer after. Like, I had zero plan, and now yesterday after I crashed the car and we borrowed the engine lift from Steven, he was like, oh, well, my shop is like, literally, I'm pointing at it. He's like, it's right there. You can just leave your trailer there, which is perfect because the drift track is right there. So I could literally just take my car out and come train here. So I probably will do that in between now and New Jersey. That is my plan. But it feels really good to be back in Canada. It feels really good to be at iCar. And I had good. Oh, j'ai pas parlé français. C'est vrai. Ok. Oh non. Oh. Ouais, c'est vrai que j'ai eu le temps de faire tout ça en français, puis finalement, je suis tellement fatiguée. Mais je suis tellement contente d'être revenue au Québec, d'avoir la chance de drifter encore ici. J'aurais aimé être ici pour plus longtemps, puis she's crab walking in the background. It's like, my shadow! Anyway, it was great. Actually, you know what? Another highlight for me was there were some people who came on Saturday to the merch tent that I didn't get to meet, and Michelle, who's helping me sell merch, mentioned, hey, these people came, they wanted the rainbow shirts, they saw your event at Long Beach, they were really excited to come to drifting and feel like drifting's more accepting, and I had a chance to chat with them today and show them my car, and that was a really scary thing to do. So it's cool to see that there's an impact that I'm not seeing, and that people are feeling more comfortable coming to this space and be excited about drifting. That's my goal, right? To make everyone excited about this thing. Maybe so I can ruin their lives too. Cut!